G'day my friends, Marty, we're here from the Martys Garden Show. I want to welcome all you new subscribers and old subscribers for coming in. Thanks so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Now today what we've got is a video about my compost rows. Well, I'm composting as I'm doing the windrows with the worms, such as in the Outdoor Urban Worm Farm project. And you'll be following that series. You should check out those videos. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on behind the scenes at Martys Garden and also discuss some of the problems I'm having along the way. Martys Garden is all about compost worms, composting, farming worms indoors and out, and growing some of the most awesome food around. You can learn how by clicking the subscribe button and hitting the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Great to see young Eddie back helping out again at Martys Garden. Today what we're doing is we're bagging the compost that I've been blending at home for the locals. They grow all types of things, fruit trees, veggies, put it in their gardens, in potted plants. They just really love it. So what are you doing here, Eddie?
Oh, we're just sifting through all the stuff that needs to be sort of filtered out, I guess. This is a sifter here and we've just got all the broken down materials in here, just sort of going through it and getting all the good stuff out of it.
Yeah, getting ready to be bagged. So what's in it? Do you remember what's in it?
Oh yeah, we've got a bit of mushroom compost, a bit of cow, sawdust, and
Coffee.
Yeah, we've got a bit of worm castings, all the good stuff.
Yeah, and there's just a little bit of chicken manure as well.
Yeah, that's it. Keeps it alive.
So if you've been watching the show, you would know that I've got a series going on called the Urban Outdoor Worm Farm Project, and where you can see these covers here over these windrows, that's got compost worms in it, and they're actually breeding up quite a lot. When I put my hands through and move underneath the cardboard and stuff, they're bouncing around and moving around and wriggling. I'm digging up. They're laying eggs in there. So it's all working fairly well. I've got to get some other different feeds and stuff in there to start building up proteins and stuff to get them to lay more eggs. But I'm definitely getting lots of little babies in there anyway, so I'm not too concerned at the moment with that. But what Eddie and I have been doing today is actually taking some of these that I've pulled out already, and we've sifted the worms out, which you saw in the last video. And then what's happened is we've put these blends together to make up a compost that's really good for the locals. See, the compost in the shops is absolutely terrible around here now these days. You just can't buy a good quality compost, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I just thought, you know what, I need to start making my own and start helping out the locals around here and get a good quality, alive biology product. So basically when they take it back to their garden, I'm educating people saying, look, when you put this in your garden, don't dig it through too deep. Keep it in the top layers, the biology in there that's going to build up all the microbes, all the bacteria, all the good fungi, all that stuff, and help feed your plants so you get a really nice, healthy garden. And I allow the worms to go through it, and that's a really big part of that. So I get the castings at the end and they go through all that compost, and they just keep breathing on and moving through the rows. It's just really, really amazing. And then we blend it through the blends at the end through the sifter, as you saw in the beginning of the video. Now, some of my problems have been, obviously, that I mentioned in other videos, it's been heat, getting too hot and having to cool them down. Obviously, being too dry as well and getting the water into this, that's been another issue. Dealing with magpies and ants, and even mice are coming in at the night and grabbing worms, things like that, because worms are basically right on the bottom of the food chain, right? So everything loves to just feed on worms. But anyway, you know, that's the battle that we have with it. But I'm still able to produce a very, very good compost, and really, really happy with the end result so far. One of my biggest issues at the moment, though, is these little flies everywhere. Whenever I add the coffee, for a few days, they just seem to just love it. They just explode. I put some grass clippings in coffee around the back to attract any more free-ranging worms, so I can grab them if they're around in the garden and stuff, to to put them into worm farms and remove them around and stuff, and they've just exploded out there. Again, there's just these little flies just everywhere, so I got to hold back on the composting process for a little while until maybe all those eggs will dissipate over time if I don't give them the food. It's definitely got something to do with that coffee. So these flies are everywhere, so I'm going to stop feeding this system. See if I can get the egg population down in there now. This is what Eddie and I finished up with today. So that's a mixture of castings, mushroom and cow there. And over here is another compost blend which has a lot more sort of sawdust and coffee in it with a little bit of mushroom and cow in there. And this is what we finish off with. This is our byproduct at the end that comes out of the bottom of the sifter, at the end of the sifter, and that's really good in pots and things and put on top of garden beds because it creates a lot of airflow. But what happens is that will go into the center of this pile here, so that all that will get piled on top. So all that will get piled on top of this, and then it'll get mixed through eventually, and I'll wet it down, and it will start to look like this guy, which was lots of worms in here this morning. I got a lot of worms out of here and put them into another tray worm farm. So we've still got a lot of compost to get yet. I'm not going to add any more until these flies go away. So I've got some really exciting news for you guys. We're heading out behind the hinterland here where I live on the mid-north coast to Permy Pete's farm, the Axia family, where I filmed a video quite a while ago, about 9 months ago now, about Australian expert worm farmer shares his top tips, which is probably my most performing worm farming video at the moment currently. It's a great video. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And so I'm going to be shooting a documentary out there. Not sure where the video is going yet, but I'll definitely let you know so you can watch it, whether it's on Peter's channel or on my channel. Or there'll be some bits and pieces because we're going to be shooting more than just that, and I'll be piecing it all together so you guys can get some awesome expert tips from my good friend out there. Also, I'm running some experiments. We've got 3 trays. If you've been following the tray farming, well, I've got 3 trays here. One's got 250 worms, all a different mix of different sizes. Then we've got 500. They're all just pretty much babies and very young worms. And then we've got the big daddies, big mummies up the top. And there's currently 67 big ones at the moment. I'm just going to go out and get a handful more. And then we're going to run feeding tests and see which ones eat the fastest, consume all the material in there, and lay more eggs and all that stuff. So heaps of experiments on the way, but the first one's going to be the food experiments running through this. Avocado and pumpkin. At the moment, the first tray is just smashing through it, so I'm looking forward to introducing these other 2. Anyway, look, I'm Marty Ware from Martys Garden. If you want to watch more videos from me, I've got another video here, subscribe button here, some videos up the top in the cards up there, heaps more content. And I'm going to start calling you guys wormlings. How does that sound? Do you like the name wormlings for our community? I'm feeling like Daddy Wormling as we speak. Alright, have a great day, happy gardening, and we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.